And so, as this is a rebroadcast, we will not be able to deliver you the full picks and bans live, and this would just be us breaking down the team composition. So, Hungry, run me through what Unfun Ultimate has been serving up for today.
Yeah, so Unfun Ultimate, we didn't see the order of the picks and bans, but the style of their composition. It looks to be a very heavy AoE wombo combo composition with the Sejuani, Rumble, and Oriana, and that's gonna be looking to get those massive team fights in. And when they do get those picks, or rather kills in the big fights, they'll be using Hope as Tristana here to just fast push with her new changes in this character.
Bangkok Titans playing a much more balanced composition on their end. They have a fair share of engage as well, with the Lissandra and the Jarvan available for themselves. Disengage in the form of Lissandra's Frozen Tome, as well as the Jenna Monsoon is there.
Yeah.
And most importantly, BKT G4 picking up the Z for himself. Some call it the Bjergsen of the Southeast Asian region, and we will have to see if we will be seeing a very strong performance.
Yeah, historically, whenever we see G4 play for BKT, he's an assassin specialist. He used like his Fizz a lot, and his Z rather, and even to a certain point LeBlanc, but every time it was always banned out against him. So I have to question APU's kind of pick and ban phase here. Why they give Z over to G4? Do they have a response prepared for this? Do they know how to deal with this pick and composition that BKT are running? And those are things we have to look out for in the game.
Let's just take a look through the bans very roughly over here. Rek'Sai and Leona targeted towards the support of Unfun Ultimate, and LeBlanc Cassiopeia Maokai targeting out some AP champions of their own. Unfun Ultimate, they definitely do not want to be dealing with the pick in the top lane. Warlock has shown a lot of proficiency on the Lulu as well as the Maokai in the top lane.
You can't give him those
but Lissandra, definitely something up its alley as well. So after breaking down the team compositions, let's head into the game itself.
Yeah, so there you go. This is the 50-second mark. We're straight into game APU versus BKT on the blue side. Of course, APU red side, BKT here. Just very defensive starts from both teams. Fanning out, spotting each other out. And it will be 007X with the ward to spot. Tarzan will spot that ward out though.
Now this is going to be a rather interesting battle between the two junglers over here. 7X as well as Tarzan. Tarzan being a very key linchpin behind Unfun Ultimate, as we like to call it, a very cerebral type of playstyle. And 7X, known for having one of the worst mechanics in the jungle in the entire GPL. He often makes up for that by just simply being in the right place at the right time. So I'm very interested to find out what will be happening over here, Hungry, as these two junglers do battle in the GPL.
Yeah, the thing about Tarzan is, as a cerebral player, he's very good at finding picks with champions like Rengar or Jarvan, where he can isolate a member out and catch them. But with this Sejuani, it's going to come down to a bit more mechanical play when he can time those glacial prisons and hopefully catch members of BKT out. I want to see how he adapts on this new Sejuani pick, considering in this patch it is 5.5 and tank junglers have made a resurgence.
So tank junglers definitely have been making a resurgence. Patch 5.5, we actually see a lane swap that will be coming in, being initiated by the Bangkok Titans, sending the Jenna as well as Grace up into the top lane. Villain will be hanging around for a little bit of EXP, and Lloyd will be there to start the freeze off for the Bangkok Titans. So we won't be seeing the very strong first push that SK Gaming has been favoring as of late. And into bottom lane, Unfun Ultimate, they have been lane swapped again. So it is very likely that they end up breaking the feed, and we have to see if anything interesting will be happening. Some action might just break out into mid lane. 3-man over, action over to Imba. He doesn't dodge out. Damage comes in, Shuriken throws out, but Imba uses the flash and dodges out that gang from the Bangkok Titans.
So right off the bat, you can see the focus for BKT in this lane swap. It would be to put pressure on Imba, the new Millennial for APU. Normally you'll consider a lane swap when you want to have your top and jungle roaming early on and get a significant advantage in your top laner or your AD carrier. But in this case, it will be to get G4 that good start, as well as secure a lot of good map presence for the mid lane.
Now, there are a few ideas that you can go with for support in the early game stages of a lane swap. You can hang around, pick up the level 2, and then go for some early wards on the other side of the map before returning to enforce low control with your AD carry. But what we are seeing here is the more roaming style from Valen, where he doesn't get level 2 at all. Just stays on the level 1, moves around and helps his jungle as well as top laner, perhaps looking for some skirmishes in his opponent's jungle. He does catch on here. Damage is going to be coming through. Warlock and 7X not there just yet to find the kill onto the opponent's support.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is both teams are mirroring each other in style. Jungle and top laner doing the double jungle, and the support roaming around to help his team get vision. Tier's gonna spot out Valen here.
Both lane into 3 members. Bangkok Titans, they find themselves in a little bit of trouble. Valen now extremely low. The command attack comes in. Valen at a tick of health. Flashes in. Naz does pick up first, but there we go. Tier flashes forward as well. Flays 7X back into the rest of the team. Unfun Ultimate, they win a huge fight in the early game.
Yeah, it's a great advantage going over to them. 600 gold straight off the bat. Hope is just pushing so hard on this bottom tower, and that's what you have to do as Tristana in the lane swap. Just constantly shove the wave up and put pressure on the turret, get a early spike in gold, and then translate that into items in the mid game where you have that Rumble power, you have that Sejuani power, and start taking dragons and turrets.
Very different philosophies coming in from both teams over here in how to handle lane swap. Bangkok Titans do pick up a lot more experience on the Lissandra, but Unfun Ultimate, they win the skirmish in the jungle and they're just putting pressure around the map.
Yeah, we have to keep an eye out on the top lane because Ness on Rumble is going back to the lane and it's kind of frozen for G4 here, so excuse me, it's frozen for Lloyd here, and they could very well prep a dive here the moment Jarvan finishes his jungle pathing and moves up. Very aggressive by Valen, putting a ward down the Tri Brush.
Lloyd does get some trading in against the Rumble. There is going to be 3 people from the blue team headed up into the top lane. Bangkok Titans only have Lloyd as well as Valen to hold of this. Let's see how much experience they will be able to deny away from Nas. Currently, they are not doing a very good job of that, but with the trash around, with the Sejuani, credit definitely has to go for this year for helping help to top lane.
Yeah, pings immediately onto 7X, so great vision in the jungle for APU. Will spot this Jarvan out, and that allows Ness and Tier to be very aggressive moving forward, constantly using the Flame Spirit to shove the wave out and put damage onto Lloyd and Valen.
But you have to be concerned over here because Valen as well as Warlock, they're going to be picking up a far much more bit of experience as compared to Alpha Ultimate. They did score the early win for themselves with the pickup on the support. But now with Warlock at level 4 and they're still struggling to pick up the 4th level for himself, Bangkok Titans, they're going to be hitting a much earlier power spike at level 6.
Yeah, level 6 power spike though, not as strong as compared to the Rumble Equalizer. I think that in the whole general term of the game is the strongest point at level 6. Nothing else will beat that besides that 1v1 potential from Zed. So honestly, if APU can just dodge around that assassination potential of Zed, they could more or less win big team fights with the Rumble Equalizer.
If you see Tarzan hit up into the top lane, this might be explosive right now. Here comes Tarzan in front to back Nest as well as here going. Is the hook able to land? There we go. The Arctic Assault does land on Jim. Hook follows in onto Venom, but here comes the teleport from the Lissandra. Is it in time? Valen's still alive, but now flashes and snaps of 3 members. And for the ultimate 1 kill return, are they able to get Tarzan as well? Lloyd picks up a 2nd kill, and Warlock, he gets the slow to Tyr as well. Ring of Frost will be off cooldown soon, but Tyr is just out of range.
It's extremely aggressive early game coming at the death mark straight onto Imba.
G4, is he able to get this one? Exhaust does go down and he misses the shurikens, but Imba just surviving a bit of hell. G4, he pops the shadow, tries to go back in once again, but Imba too smart for that one.
Yeah, with that exhaust also mitigating the kill potential very heavily. G4 not gonna find that 1v1 there, but will shove Imba back. Hook connects onto Warlock in the top lane, just a lot of harass going down by APU. And I was saying before the fight in the mid lane broke out how aggressive this early game coming from both teams are. And surprisingly, it is not 7X who's been starting the action, but rather APU's team. It's always been Tyr or Ness or Tarzan to make the early action happen.
But I have to say, that was a fantastic teleport coming in from Warlock. Just getting the right Ring of Frost down, flashing the 3 members to land it down. He was able to secure 2 for his team, and now Titans, they have a slight goal lead for themselves.
Yeah, 400 is the goal lead for BKT here, and that's very good for them. Early vision control down from APU, a pink ward opposite the rip buff is going to spot out where 7X if he takes that route. And an early dragon ward as well, so APU knows that those are the zones that they control once they hit level 6 and want to place a lot of focus on them.
And a large CS lead being built by G4 in the mid lane, definitely stamping down his dominance. 15 CS and hit on the corner right now. The Orianna, she does have the 1 assist from the earlier kill they had on Janna, but you have to feel that G4 will be hitting a very strong mid-game power spike.
Yeah, he took the Cutlass early on, and that's going to signify that he wants to go for the all-in kill. The extra damage from the Cutlass active as well as the slow will help him kill Imba the next time Deathmark is up and Exhaust isn't.
Sejuani farming up the top side of the jungle, 7X in the same era as well. Once again, the top lane area might just be a huge area of contention between these 2 teams, which is bullying out Imba over here. The strong wave does land, but the Deathmark, is he going to be popping it onto this one? He gets a fair bit of damage from the turret, and both mid laners they just trade back and forth.
Yeah, so very even in the mid lane despite a good start for G4 here, having to blow Imba's flash as the gank happened early on, but the CS lead once again being taken by the Zed here. Against the Orianna, no surprise is to be expected. 7X's early gank potentials have been stifled so well from the warding coming from APU. I have to commend them on how good they are keeping track of this Jarvan.
And in the top lane between Warlock as well as Nas, both of these champions going rather even in CS. Props definitely has to go to Nas. We saw him behind by about 10 to 15 CS after the lane swap, but he has been able to equalize it to a fair extent, and now he only sits at 5 CS behind us for the lane of Here goes into lands the hook onto Lloyd. Hook just getting a fair chunk of damage placed onto him, but the damage just parting on the Tyr at the moment. How much is the bomb gonna explode for? Lloyd gets knocked back, and the Hope gets a solo kill onto the in the 2v2 scenario.
Yeah, I think that was the reason why BKT also decided to laser up hold on
Here comes
W7X.
double 7x as well. Instantly tier is gonna fall. Tarzan comes in from the back, and the bomb is just charged up for so much right now. There's gonna be another kill for the Tristana. Resets coming, tries to jump in onto Valen.
Yes, the
Valen
red
flashes
buff.
out that one. Here comes Imba from the side. Are they able to get this kill? Valen is gonna fall as well. A kill goes over to the Orianna this time.
Yeah, G4 staying off the side, but it's gonna be a red buff tick that slowed him down and allowed them to get a kill. BKT here gonna lose their blue buff, but since it is a Z, not too big of an issue there. The goal just swinging in favor of both teams here very precariously. Dragon gonna be started by APU here, and if they do get this without contest, it's a great sign because they didn't have to bring the Rumble down, which was one of their big points of the composition.
Now this is going to be playing towards Unfun Ultimate's win objectives when you play such a strong team fighting composition. Now simply controlling out the Dragon Pit itself is a very legend strategy, and getting the 5 Dragon stack is definitely a win condition. There we go, Nest drops Equalizer onto Warlock. Warlock tries to go aggressive, he gets the Frozen Claw into the ultimate, he's going to land the Ring of Frost as well. But here comes G4, is he going to be popping the ultimate for the dive? No, they're not. Bangkok Titans, they just wait for a bunch of ultimates in the top lane, and they're going to be backing.
Yeah, they committed a lot of resources to that. W7X coming up as well, and not finding a kill onto Nest. Hopefully they can find one when they do commit to this dive. Bot lane, just a lot of damage going down to the turret, and Nest sticking around despite 3 people around. He knows that there is W7X in the brush, but he still did not back. Very greedy of him to stick around.
Oh, we are into a pause over here. So we broadcast and we still have a pause. But
Some
no
things
worries
cannot
about
be
that.
changed.
It's the Garena pause thing, as we sometimes joke about
Yeah.
it. But
Only 3 things are certain: death, taxes, and pauses in the Greener Premier League. There you go.
007X looking for a gank onto Nas. Jarvan just looking so suave right now, marauding into the top lane. And G4 has left the game. Somebody report him.
Yeah, I don't think we can report him considering it's a tournament game, tournament draft as well. But he will be reconnecting in a moment of time. BKT here looking very aggressive with the dive, but I have to say that they've not been compensating off the rest of the map every time they commit for something, and they've been losing a lot. I think 007X especially has just been so non-existent in terms of map pressure and ganks this game, despite the early one move that he made onto Imba.
Well, 007X has been spending a fair bit of time farming, but so has Sejuani. Both junglers picking up a fair amount of CS for themselves. Play resumes it too. At 1, is Nas going to survive? We are about to find out. Jarvan Mark lands, he gets to knock off from Swag and Drag, and G4 does get the kill onto the top lane.
Yeah, like I said, too greedy, knew that G4 as well as 007X were there, chose to stick around anyway and paid the price. The top turret rather should be going down with a new wave coming in, but instead Warlock and 007X choose to back off. Not particularly sure why. They don't want to siege that down and rotate off to the side of the map, knowing that they have 2 very strong lanes pushing up in the bot and top lane.
Bangkok Titans just exerting the map pressure, just shoving out the lanes and making the rotations around the map. Phat Ultimate trying to respond as best as they can. They had the Q lead, but now with the turrets going over to the Bangkok Titans, goal is going to swing once again in the favor of G4 and crew.
And honestly, like I mentioned, they could have opened up the goal gap even wider if they had stuck around to siege in the top towers. And gonna find 007X in the jungle here. Just a bit of trading going on, friendly love taps, but Tarzan coming out better from this trade. 007X gonna get some support from his team. Plague and Drake lands onto Tarzan.
Warlock goes in, Cataclysm does land, but are they able to find the kill? Tarzan still on the run over here. The Sejuani escapes with a sliver of health. Nest turning things around. Equalizer has not been dropped just yet. Bangkok Titans try to find additional kills. There we go, Equalizer has been dropped, but we see in the top lane Tarzan is gonna fall to the turret. Warlock does secure the kill onto that one.
Yeah, so overcommitting a lot by APU there. The vision running out in the jungle definitely in advance, and that was what resulted in them getting over man-powered, I think. Too many members from BKT could collapse on that, and they lost in terms of damage. The turret taking a lot of damage, and Warlock just putting the return damage onto Hope, who is, as we yet to mention, the newer addition to this team.
So substituting for B1, Phat Ultimate, the new AD carry, has been 2-0-1 at the moment, 2 kills and an assist. We will be seeing the Infinity has been completed at a much earlier time because of the early kills that this Tristana was able to pick up for herself. But we have to see what BKT will be able to bring to the table. G4 definitely doing a fantastic job on the Zed in the mid lane, and Lloyd, AD carry Graves, has the BF sword already going for the upgraded boots.
G4 putting a lot of pressure down onto Imba's Orianna. Had to go for the early Seeker's Armguard to give himself a bit of a boost in defensive stats, and that's going to mitigate the damage from shockwaves in the mid game. Normally you want to finish that Morellonomicon into a straight Void Staff or Death Cap to amplify your damage from the Command Shockwave. In this case, not gonna hurt as much and definitely less impactful.
Warriors Enchantment completed the 007X, and we are seeing the Cinderhawk Enchantment being completed by Tarzan as well. Now this Cinderhawk Enchantment is one of the big reasons why.
Yeah.
A lot of teams have been picking up tank junglers as of late, even picking up double tanks. One in the top lane, one in the jungle position.
Yeah.
Because it gives you 25% bonus.
The
health.
item itself is 101% cost efficient, and with each point of health you get, it becomes even more cost efficient. And at this point, Tarzan is beginning to stack tank stats. He's got that cloth armor, probably going to build that into a Randuin. I think at that point he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the front lines.
So on the top lane, BKT, they're setting up a huge trap over here. For the ultimate, they kind of smell it as well, sending 2 of their own members as well. Top laner, support and jungler versus top laner, mid laner and support. And G4 tries to go into this one. He drops the grab onto Zed, equalizer the 2 members, but here comes the rest of the BKT squad. Immediately the Rumble is going to fall. Tarzan tries to flank in front of the back, but the Monsoon is good so far. Tarzan now in a whole bunch of trouble. The slow comes in onto him. 007X tries to go onto Cheer. He does find a kill with the raid buff, and BKT, they win the fight and take the turret as well.
Yeah, once again, APU overcommitting without vision, getting outmanned by BKT. 4 members collapsing onto 3, 2 members from APU went down, and it is once again Hope on the sidelines, split pushing with this Tristana. A lot of gold has been put onto him, giving him majority of the resources off the map. BKT clawing their way into this game, 2,000 gold ahead of APU. That's going to translate to a great power spike in the next dragon in a minute and 15 seconds. Could see the Brutalizer and almost the Blade of the Ruin King being completed for G4. That's very scary now because APU has no tools to deal with this besides the exhaust coming in from Imba.
But also they have to play the next fight very carefully. Dragon will be spawning in 1 minute, and that's when BKT, they might decide to contest this one. Rather interesting scenario coming in.
Yeah, I just
with
have
the
to say
ultimates being
that
all available for
I
Unbound.
just have to say that BKT's composition is very good at making picks on priority targets. You have Warlock who comes in with the Frozen Tomb and G4 with the Death Mark together combined on a single target. That's instant death. And as long as BKT gets the vision down before the fights break out, they'll be able to pick up members like that time and time again and just kite around, wait for the cooldowns to come up and take objectives away from APU, who relies so heavily on that Rumble, so heavily on that Orianna.
So with some Ultimate turrets being pushed down the bottom lane, in fact a tier 2 going down in the favor of Unbound Ultimate as well. The map is open up around the Dragon quite a fair bit, and Bangkok Titans, we have to see if they will be able to put any pressure into this one. Not even sure if they have the timer. Dragon respawning in 10 seconds. Unbound Ultimate, they will be passing the rebuff over to Hope, hoping for a bigger team fight power spike on this Tristana.
Speaking of team fight, the focus of both teams here should be, for APU at least, to get a very good team fight with all the ultimates synced up. But for BKT, it would be to delete one member before the team fight even starts. And that's going to mean that they need deep vision in the jungle, something that they have placed in the top side and the bot side.
I mean, Bangkok Titans, they might not even have Contesting Dragon as an item on the plate at the moment. We do see Warlock still pushing up in the top lane, and G4 hanging around the side for an assassination. They do catch him. There we go. Ignite as well as the Deathmark onto Hope. He gets the Shadow for Shuriken. It's going to be thrown out. That is the assassination onto the AD carry.
Yeah.
Bangkok Titans, a good kill pickup for them.
Definitely underestimating the kill potential of this. That without the exhaust available on your Thresh, you should not be choosing that 2v1 because you can still blow up one member and juke back to the Shadow and run away now. Like I said, picking up one member will always give them that free objective because APU relies on all 5 members being together to execute that team fight composition. And once again, just another big advantage being taken by BKT here. Great map movement and great team coordination.
So when you're up against the Death Ball, don't fight the Death Ball head on. Split it up, move around the map, and pick them off for the routine.
Yeah, the tricky thing is moving around the map to get vision, because if the Death Ball sticks together, they can clean out vision across the map, and that leaves you very vulnerable to flanks and objective control when they come in from those cleared out vision ward areas and choose to pick a fight there.
So no major objectives on the map to be contested at the moment. BKT, they might be setting their eyes on this mid lane turret. And for the ultimate on their head with the Orianna as well as Tristana, they will want to be buying time for themselves to be keeping this killing power spikes.
This is really smart coming from Warlock, his itemization, picking up the Rod of Ages. Knowing that they've stifled Ness's early game on Rumble a lot, he could actually use the advantage from that 2 kills and 3 assists, pick up an early Rod of Ages and scale as hard as this Rumble. He's going to be a very strong frontline tank with his HP together with Java, and those are going to be the duo dive buddies hoping to find Hope and Imba in the team fights.
I mean, Rob Aegis is a rather interesting item on the Lissandra. Most people don't really like it. It does give you some decent stats, but you gotta wait quite a fair bit of time, whereas most Lissandra players you just want to be jumping in, getting the damage down, and Hook does fly out from tier, but doesn't find home onto anyone on BKT.
Yeah, APU should be doing this very well, rather. Doing this to make use of the composition rather well. Group up, push. If BKT wants to counter the siege, force a team fight 5v5. Don't wander off into the jungle and get picked off. APU starting to group up, using the pink ward very well to deny vision from BKT, and at this point in time we may see a swing in one or two fights where BKT overextend and get caught out in a massive team fight.
Well, but here comes 007X as well as Vaden making some deep moves. G4 might be looking for a flank onto Unfat Ultimate, still looking to assassinate Tristana, AD carry over here. Here, drifting around, trying to spot out G4. They need visions down onto these assassins before they can make any decisions. Else, a good assassination could spell a very disastrous team fight for the Unfat Ultimate squad.
Yeah, Warlock's Rod of Age is starting to stack up, and with the measly large rod, he's gonna hit his major power spike in about 5 minutes when he gets that Zhonya's Hourglass completed, or even the death cap at this point. When he goes in and picks up Orianna or Tristana, the person that he chooses to ultimate is gonna get blown up immediately.
Now it's Unfat Ultimate's turn to push down the mid lane. They definitely do have the team fight advantage with all the major ultimates being up here, tries to go in. Hook doesn't land at the Bangkok Titans, and that's going to be another 10 seconds before they have to stop. But here comes Warlock, flashes in, gets the snare down onto Hope. Where is G4 at the moment? Is Tristana still alive? But here comes the assassination from G4. He has been exhausted up. Tristana still alive. Monsoon has been blown in the backlines. Here comes Lloyd to the front as well. Is he able to get the last few bits of damage in one auto attack? Here has the red buff ticking onto him, and that is the double kill as G4 uses the flash and shadow to move in the range to finish him off.
Yeah, all credit to Warlock for starting that fight out very well. Normally when you play Tristana, you want to use the glacial path to pass behind the walls to not announce your arrival, surprise the enemy team, catch them off guard, and then use the Ring of Frost to stall and allow your team to catch up. And after he has done that, using the Frozen Tomb to slow everyone down and deal massive amounts of damage in the AoE, allow his team to pick up and clean up the rest of members of APU. So now with the 3 members down, they get free reign in the jungle, and 007X just going to take away all of those resources from APU here.
So Unfat Ultimate, for what looked like was a very decent early game for themselves, now find themselves in a little bit of a difficult situation. They definitely still have the skilling in their favor, but the next 10 minutes is going to prove a very difficult period of time.
The tricky situation here is that Tarzan was not tanky before that fight. He has picked up the Giant's Belt, but before that he couldn't soak enough damage to counter engage with the Glacial Prison, and that was why APU just fell apart. If he can stay alive for a couple of seconds longer, throw the Glacial Prison and catch members of BKT out, and then chain that into the rest of their ultimates, that could allow them to win the fight. Additionally, they have to stick together. They cannot split off and get picked off by G4 here, and then, you know, 77X on the other side.
I mean, don't make sure Tarzan's itemization at the moment. He went for the Iron Boots of Lucidity and a little bit of what we like to call Captain Planet build, where you build a little bit of everything at once.
The Iron Boots of Lucidity combined with the Glacial Shroud gives him very high uptime on the northern winds, which allows him to slow down majority members of BKT as long as he's in the fray. Additionally, his ultimate is going to come up much quicker, and that allows them to teamfight much more often.
So he has decided to pick up some armor and health items on top of that. The rest of Unfat Ultimate as well. Lion Tree Storm completed on the Rumble already. They definitely have a very potent Rumble combo with the Zonya's Hourglass, only 500 gold away from Imba's Orianna. Now they will find Tarzan out in the jungle over here. Bangkok Titans, the other ones, do not shy away from fighting at this point of time. They know that they're up against the scaling composition and they want to be able to punish Mystic from Unfat Ultimate. They catch here, collateral damage comes in. This is a simple pick off for the Bangkok Titans. Just lay in wait in the jungle and kill whoever comes in.
BKT know the powers of their composition, know where they excel and making use of it so well, making picks in the jungle, controlling the vision. Look at the map, just all the red wards compared to the blue wards on the mini map there. And the scary thing is G4 has picked up the early Yomus instead of the Last Whisper that you normally try to rush, and that allows them to split off and split push against members of APU who honestly, they don't have a good response to that.
Now Warlock is shoving down the mid lane and keeping the lane sharp against Unfat Ultimate. This is going to be causing Unfat Ultimate to just cede map control over the Bangkok Titans. I think they've been doing a fairly good job of keeping their opponents on their toes.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Zonya's completed already for Imba. He was 500 gold away, now having that completed removes one target that G4 can assassinate. So it's gonna be either Hope or Ness before the fight starts that Zed will be looking to kill. Rather tricky though, considering Tyr is going to be accompanying Hope. And Ness, if he drops his equalizer before the fight, before he gets assassinated, that kind of removes the use of killing him.
Now just going for a fallen split push over here. Bangkok Titans, they're going to be sieging up the mid lane with the Grace and Lissandra with double summer. But G4 actually just split pushes on the sidelines. Here we go. G4 tries to go in for the assassination. Inbound got extremely low right now. G4 still on the chase as the Death Mount Pop is able to get a kill. Gets the double kill. Trash is picked up as well. Villain does fall in exchange, but that is going to be 3-4-1 for the ultimate squad.
Yeah, good command shockwave, but APU not on the same page. The Glacial Prison tossed by Tarzan was not able to hit members of BKT, only slowing them down but not locking them up. And the equalizer, once again, nowhere to be found. APU just falling apart at this point.
Winning all these fights has put Bangkok Titans at a nice 7,000 goal lead against Unfun Ultimate. They have completed some major power spikes for themselves, but against BKT, the current execution doesn't matter. They just move in and kill them under the turret.
The thing is, BKT's composition was drafted so well that even if they were at a goal disadvantage, they could still manage to win the game by finding picks. But now they are far ahead compared to APU. They're actually really strong now in terms of just executing their picks.
Sejuani or Rihanna as well as Tristana for Alpha Ultimate still have to be concerned. It's going to be another 6 minutes before they complete their third items each, and that is when Alpha Ultimate really starts to become a very, very scary team fighting team.
Yeah, the worry I have is that yes, they will be able to team fight very well, but Tristana has been gutted really hard in her hyper carry role in the recent patches. Her Q, the steroid attack speed, doesn't give as much as it used to, and I think that's one of my biggest concerns coming in.
I do believe now if you do attack someone who has got an explosive charge, and
yeah, it does reduce the
it
cooldown.
reduces your rapid fire cooldown.
But it kind
isn't
of
really all that much.
It's not a lot, but it kind of makes it hard because that base, when the moment you throw the explosive charge down, it signals to the enemy team who your focus is, and if you can kite out of the fight, then Tristana gets guarded quite hard.
Bangkok Titans positioning around Baron at the moment. They've cleared out most of the wards of Alpha Ultimate, and this area is going to be blind to the Vietnamese squad. And Bangkok Titans, let's see if they will be starting this attempt. G4 in the bottom side of the map. He's going to see this pink ward. Clears it out. Whole myriad of options available for Bangkok Titans right now.
Speaking of options, W7X just sitting off the side. They know that Ness is there as well as Hope. They want to find a pick, but Lloyd and Valen get spotted out, and G4 with his 3-item power spike last whisper. Yomu's Ghost Blade and Blade of the Rain King. He can just split off to the mid or bot lane and keep the waves moving.
Oh, they do catch here. There we go. Collateral damage comes and boom and splat, and equalizer less than the 4 people. But by then it's just too late, and BKT they've already cleaned up 2 for nothing for themselves. Now after picking up those 2 freebies, let's see what they will be able to achieve.
Looks like Baron will be the next point of contention for BKT. Got a good amount of vision to spot out any challenges from APU, and it's going to be up to APU to defend this. I don't think they should, considering the equalizer is down, and that was what would have won them the Baron contest. But in this case, they're just moving over to the bottom side, taking the rip buff away. A small consolation, but nothing compared to the Baron here.
They're not going to be taking any risks, and the Baron will be handed over to Bangkok Titans now at a 9,000 gold lead, and the Baron buff available to themselves. Ending the game now is definitely a possibility for BKT.
Yeah, it should be simple enough considering most of BKT have their core items up. Infinity Edge, Static Shift, and an extra BS sword for Lloyd means he's going to be hitting like a truck in these team fights, and G4 cannot be stopped at this point in time.
Now Tarzan trying to clear out some wards in his own jungle, establish his own vision down. APU, they have a nice line of defensive wards, but this far behind in goal, you have to be concerned for them.
The thing is, at this point in time, where BKT are so far ahead, even 9,000 gold ahead, they could just brute force these fights. Even if APU see them coming, Claw of Doom, Flag and Drag into Cataclysm, is going to stop APU in their tracks and allow the other members of BKT to catch up. And when G4 gets onto you, when Lloyd gets onto you, well, you have no response to that because they're so far ahead and they deal so much damage. Very methodical closing out here, just clearing out all the wards. BKT fanning out, making sure the jungle is completely dark for APU here. Phat Ultimate slowly getting strangled out of this game.
G4 taking a little bit of damage from inbound over there. Mid lane is now dueling on the bottom side of the lane, with G4 having priority as he has the Baron buff. Just sieging down the turret slowly but surely. They're gonna get one. Rumble will be joining the fight soon. Let's see, BKT will be able to break the base. The Baron buffed up cannon minions in the back line at the moment, just slowly pounding away at the turret. Taking one of the slowest turret deaths of Bangkok Titans. They're not afraid, they're just hanging around and just waiting for a mistake from the APU, waiting for a good catch. Either from tier or onto tier, and they'll see what they will be able to do. So there we go, Warlock catches out Imba. G4 is there, will he be going for it? Death Mark onto Imba straight away. No more Oriana, here comes Tristana as well. Equalizer is good so far. They picked up one, are they able to get any more? Warlock has come out of the golden frozen status, and he is going to fall in the end. But double 7x is there with the rescue, drops the Cataclysm down, and Lloyd as well as Villain is moving for cleanup duty.
Triple damage threat from BKT, just too strong at this point in time, and Lloyd left completely unchecked in the fight, just wrecked everyone. They get one inhibitor for now. A bit of hubris coming in, tanking the turret. Should back off, allow the waves to reset in the mid lane and then take it down, but it is...
They're calling for it. They're calling for the end of the game. They're just trying to burst it down. Half health on the first Nexus turret. They're going to get it. The second Nexus turret, 2 seconds onto Imba and BKT. They're going to back away. They don't have enough time.
Yeah, they do get the first Nexus turret. Very good options being weighed there. Instead of choosing to take the mid, they go over to the Nexus turret. So one big obstacle down from them to end the game. With all the gold that they picked up from that last fight, the next set of items should be coming from BKT to end the game. The Dragon as well, third one for the Titans. Should give them the extra movement speed that they need. Simple enough to just finish off the game now.
So there's going to be another Dragon over to the Bangkok Titans with the bottom side of the base broken. Baron already taken by Bangkok Titans. So just going to be a matter of minutes before they close this one out. But Ultimate still looking for a close, they're looking for a miracle. They have the wombo combo, the team fighting. If they're able to layer a few good ultimates on the undermanned Bangkok Titans, they might be able to win a fight.
Yeah, a miracle, a Hail Mary is what they need now in this first game of a best of 2. I have to say the banning phase, the pick and ban phase, excuse me, rather suspect, and when they go into the next game, they really have to change up the way they prioritize picks and bans. G4 Z definitely not something they want to deal with anymore, and Warlock Lissandra, one of the main reasons why they got so far ahead in the mid game.
2-1 enforcement on the Lissandra. 2 core items completed already on top of the Zonya's Hourglass and the Well of Ages. It's going to be very difficult to focus her down and stop the damage from coming through.
It looks like Iron being popped here for 007X. So going to be leading the charge for his team. Last outer turret for APU in the top lane.
Oh, Cataclysm comes in but straight away. Drops the Zonya's Hourglass. Shockwave on the two people, but the collateral damage just comes in and picks her off at the maximum range. G4 tries to get GP with an assassination. Almost popped already, but they're going to be picking up a turret for themselves. BKT, they might be moving in for the kill right now. They're just sieging up in the top lane turret. Let's see if APU will be able to hold off.
Yeah, hook straight onto 007X. Don't think they want to go in on this though. Very greedy of APU to defend that outer tier 2, especially without all the members from Alpha Ultimate there. It was very easy for BKT to just collapse, and the Claw of Doom coming onto tier. G4 moving forward very aggressively. Look like they want to take this fight.
Naz is in a little bit of trouble. He is turning golden, and he will be falling as such as this no avail. Thousand is on the run right now. The 80 damage isn't gonna be enough. 2 more to attack, but the shield from Oriana does save his jungler. And now Imba just spotting at the right time to help out his team. But there's still gonna be the inhibitor going over the Bangkok Titans.
Yeah, with this goal lead that they have, 15,000 gold out. 7X just jumping forward onto Imba. They managed to pick him up, padding their KD a bit. Second Nexus start, gonna fall in a matter of seconds, and now the Nexus for BKT. The game 1 in the best of 2. The Thailand side completely outclassing the Vietnamese team here.
APU, they had a few small wins after the lane swap, but they were unable to capitalize that on at all. BKT with just superior rotations and map control, they win that one, 1-0.
And just think the comfort of, the comfort of getting the champions that they're so good on, not banning them out. APU very suspect in this game 1. They have to change up their strategy a bit. I think in the next best of 2, we'll see a bit more focus on taking out the champion pool of G4 and looking to go for their own comfort picks as